everyone, I am Dr. Naresh Kumar, Assistant Professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today we are going to have a discussion on mesh analysis. Now here what are the steps to solve the mesh equations? So first here, this is one circuit. So what are the steps here? Steps means first here step 1 is here determine possible number of meshes. Step 1, possible number of meshes. Here determine possible number of meshes in a given network. So how many meshes here? 1 and 2. Mesh, what do you mean by mesh? Mesh is a kind of loop which does not cross another loop. Here this is one mesh and this one is another mesh, mesh 1 and mesh 2 in the given network. And next here second step, assign the mesh currents I1, mesh currents I1, I2 and till IN, if n number of meshes, so that till IN. So that means here we have two meshes, means two I1 and I2 in clockwise direction. So now here I1 and I2 in clockwise direction. Next step 3 means apply KVL in each mesh. Here mesh 1 and mesh 2. Apply KVL in mesh 1. So now here minus 10 plus 4 into I1 plus 6 into I1 minus I2. Here this is the first mesh equation. You can rewrite this one 10 minus 4 I1 or 6 minus 6 I1 minus I2. So that equals to 0. Algebraic sum of total voltages in a loop equals to 0. That is KVL. Apply KVL in the mesh 1 and in the second mesh apply KVL. So this is equation number 1. So now here second mesh equation, here we cannot apply KVL in this mesh. So now here this current direction is the mesh. So here it is I2 current equals to in the second mesh. This is for mesh 1 and this is for mesh 2. Mesh 2 equation directly I2 equals to minus 5. This I2 is downwards and I5 is upwards. So now this is mesh 1 and this one is a mesh 2. Mesh 1 equation. So if you simplify this one equals to 4 plus 6, that is 10 I1 minus 6 I2 equals to 10. This is equation number 1, mesh 1 equation. This is mesh 2 equation. So now here second problem, write the mesh equations for a given circuit. So here possible number of meshes. Here there is a super mesh here. So first here how many meshes? Possible number of meshes, mesh 1, and so here mesh 1 and mesh 2, this is mesh 3 and this is mesh 4. In a given network, step 1 is here. Step 1 is here possible number of meshes. Here meshes equals to 4 meshes. And now apply KVL in mesh 1 and next mesh 2, mesh 3 and mesh 4. But here there is a current source in between two meshes. So we cannot apply KVL when current source is present in a loop. So now here, so remove this loop current, this one equals to, so now here I am writing the mesh equations. First here this one. So second step, this is step 2 is here. Let me change the color over here. Step 2 is I assume the currents I1, I2 and I3, I4 are in clockwise direction. So now here how you will write the equation? So now here I am writing this one I2 minus I1. So this I2 minus I1 equals to this I2 minus, here they are considered, this one is the I1 and next I2 means I2 minus I1. This is the I2 and next this one what is this value? This one equals to, so this is super mesh. So this is I3 and I4. So now here this one is I3 and this one is a I4. So now if you write this one, this I1 current here, in this loop here I am representing again. So this is a 1, this is a 2, and this one is a 3, and this one is a 4. This is I1 current, and this one is a I2 current, this one is a I3 current, and this one is a I4 current. So now here I1 equals to, that is minus 5. This current is opposite to this 5 1. This is in this direction, and this one is a from left to right and right to left, this one. So this is from 5 amperes per directly is given I1 current. This is mesh equation 1. Now if you apply KVL in the mesh 2, so now here 1 into I2 minus I1, this one is okay. And next here 4 into I2, so 4 into I2, this one is okay. And next current is flowing from plus to minus, that is 22. This is volt. There is no current here, 22.5. And this one 2 into I2 minus I4. This is I4, I think. This is fourth, and this one is the third, I4. So now this equation over. Next, if you simplify this one, so now here's next thing is here. If you simplify this one, this is the value. And next thing here, this is mesh 2 equation. Mesh 1 is 5 and mesh 2 is the second equation. And mesh 3 is here. So now here there is a current source in between two loops. That means 3 and 4, that equals to, so remove to apply KVL, remove that mesh. This is super mesh. Remove that current source and apply. So this is minus 60, current is flowing, and next 4 into I3, this one, this is I3, and next 3 into I4, and next 1 into I4, and 2 into I4 minus I2, and next 2 into I3 minus I1. This is equation number 1. This is a 1, 2, this is 3, and this one is a 4. So now here this is super mesh equation. If you simplify this one, that is minus 2I2 plus 6I3 plus 6I4, that equals to 60 minus 10 equals to 5. This is equation number 3. And another equation, that one equals to current flows for I4 direction is upward and I3 direction is downwards, that I4 minus I3 equals to 10 amperes. 10 amperes. Now here, so these are the 4 mesh equations. So 1, 2, 3, and this one is the 4th. So we have 4 meshes, 4 mesh equations. And next, this one, mesh equations for a given circuit. Here in this given possible number of meshes, how many meshes here? So mesh 1, here mesh 2, this is mesh 3, this is mesh 4, and this is mesh 5. And next step 2 is assume the mesh currents in clockwise direction, I1, I2, I3, I4, and I5. All currents are in clockwise direction. So now here apply KVL in the each mesh. So first here, so in the each mesh means here minus 10, so minus 30 plus 50 I1 plus 20 I1 minus I2 plus 80 I1 minus I4 is equals to 0. This is the mesh equation, equation number 1. So now here 30. So algebraic sum of total voltages in a loop equals to 0. So 30, 50 into I1. Let me change the color over here. So this is the algebraic sum of total voltages in a loop equals to 0. So 30. So now here 50 into I1, and next 20 into I1 minus I2, and next 80 into I1 minus I4. This is equation number 1. So now here this is equation number. Next second mesh equation, let me change the color over here. Now here this equation 20 into I2 minus I1, 20 into I2 minus I1 plus, and next here 30 into I2 minus I3 plus 15 into I2 minus I4, that equals to 0. Here we have only 3 meshes, 3 branches in these loops in the second mesh. So that equation is here. Now here this is equation number 2. So 20 into I2 minus I1, 30 into I2 minus I3, and next this one equals to 2 into I2 minus 15 into I2 minus I4. Next here, let me change the color over here. Next equation. For the third mesh equation, 3 meshes 30 into I3 minus I2 plus and 20 into I3 minus I5 plus 12 equals to 0. 12 equals to 0 plus 12 equals to 0. Current is flowing from positive terminal to the negative terminal. So that equals to 0. That is equation number 3. So now we have 3 meshes. Now next, in the fourth mesh, if you apply KVL in this loop, here how many? 1, here how many are here? 1, 2 and 3. Here current is flowing from negative to positive, so that is minus 20 plus and next 80 into I1 minus I4 minus I1 and plus 15 into I4 minus I2 equals to 0. That is equation number 4. This is equation number 4. And next thing here, fifth one, this one. So this is equation number 5th equation. So plus 20, current is flowing from plus to minus plus 20 plus and 60 into I5 and next 20 into I5 minus I2. So this is equation number 5. So now here this is, so now here by the inspection method also we can determine. So now here 50 plus 20 plus 80. So 100, 150. This is 150. This one is okay. And next thing here, minus 20 for I1. So this is mesh 1 and mesh 2. So minus 20 is here. So now here minus 20 I1 minus, this is 20 I think. This is 20. And next here minus 8. This is 20. And next thing here, second mesh equation, remaining are not associated and this one is a 30 and this one is okay. And next thing here, second mesh here 20 plus 30 plus 15. So 45 plus 65, this is a 65 and this one is a minus 20 and this one is a minus 30, this one and this one is a minus 15. This equals, this is I2 and this, there is no voltage source in this. And next thing here, in this third mesh equation, so now here minus 12 this one. So if it is this one 12 minus 12 and minus 30 this one and next this one is minus 20 and this one 30 plus 20 is 50. Now here next fourth one, so 80, this is minus 80, this is minus 80, this one is this one and this is minus 15 and next here 80 plus 15, that equals to 95, this one and this equals to 20 and this one equals to minus 20 and next 20 plus 20 is 80, this one, this is 20 minus 20. Now, so these are the mesh equations. Now, write the mesh equations for a given circuit. So first one is, how many meshes? 1, 2 and 3. So now here let me change the color over here. So I1 current, I2 current and I3 current. So minus 120 plus 20 I1 plus 30 I1 minus I2 equals to 0. Next here 30 I2 minus I1 plus 10 into I2 plus 40 into I2 minus I3 equals to 0. Next here I3 value is directly given. So that is, so opposite direction current. I3 current is downwards direction and current to source is upward direction, that is 3 amperes. Now, so these are the 3 meshes. Now, write the mesh equations for a given circuit. Same thing here, 1. So, mesh 1 is here, mesh 1, 2, This is 3 and this one is a 4, 5. So total possible number of meshes here 5, that is step 1. Assume the step 2 is assume the mesh currents in clockwise direction I1, I2, I3, I4, I3, I4, I5 in clockwise direction. Next, apply KVL in the mesh 1. That mesh equations here I am writing 5 into I1 plus 2 into I1 minus I3. This one 5 into I1, 2 into I1 minus I3. Current is flowing from minus 2 plus minus 4 plus 2 into I1 minus I2. Algebraic sum of total voltages in a loop equals to 0. Apply KVL in the mesh, in each mesh. And second mesh equation, that current is flowing from plus to minus, plus 4 this one, and plus 4 into I2 minus I3 plus I2 minus I1, 1 into I2 minus I5 plus I2 1 into I2 minus I4 plus current is flowing from minus 2 plus, so that is minus 10, same equation, and plus 2 into I2 plus 2 into I2 minus I1. So this is the equation number 1. This is equation number 2. And next, third mesh equation is here. This one 4 into I3 minus I2. This one plus 2 into I2 minus I3 minus I2. This one, and plus 3 into I3 plus 12 and minus 6 equals to 0. This is equation number 3, mesh equation number 3. And next, here equation number 4, if you apply KVL in this loop, here minus 4 into I4 plus 1 into I4 minus I3 plus 3 into I4 minus I5 equals to 0. This is equation number 4. And equation number 5 means here this one. So 3 into I5 minus I4 plus 1 into I5 minus I2 plus 6 equals to 0. This is equation number 5. So these are the 5 mesh equations: mesh 1, mesh 2, mesh 3, mesh 4 and mesh 5. So now solve mesh equations in a given network. So possible number of meshes 1 and mesh 1, mesh 2 is here. So now here possible number of meshes, assume the mesh currents I1 and I2. Now here apply KVL in this loop 20. So minus 20 plus 5 into I1 plus 10 into I1 minus I2 equals to 0. If you apply algebraic sum of total voltages in a loop equals to 0. So now that is 20 minus 5 I1 minus 10 I1 minus I2 equals to 0. So now if you simplify this one, 10 I2 is equal to 5 I1 minus 20 equals 0. That is equation number 1. And next, second mesh equation. So minus 10 into I2 minus I1 plus 30 into I2 minus 80 equals to 0. So now that if you take minus 10 into I2 minus I1 minus 30 I2 plus 80 equals to 0. So now if you simplify this one, this is the second mesh equation. Minus 4 I2 plus I1 and plus 8 equals to 0. Solve these two equations 1 and 2, you will get the I1 and I2. I1 equals to 16 by 5 amperes and I2 equals to 14 by 5 amperes. That is mesh number. These two are mesh currents. And next thing, find the I0 current using mesh analysis. So now here possible number of meshes in a given network, mesh 1 and mesh 2, and this is the mesh 3. So now here mesh current, assume the mesh currents in clockwise direction I1, I2, and this one is a I3. So now here minus 56, this one current is flowing from minus to plus, and this here what is the value here in the first mesh equals to 2 into 2k into 2k into I1. So minus 56 plus 2k 2000 into I1 plus 6000 into I1 minus I2 plus 4 into 4000 into I1 minus I3. So this is the equation number 1. So now I think this is, there is no, this is 12. There is no kilo ohms. And next thing here, if you simplify this one, 6I1 minus 3I2 minus 3I3 equals, this is the equation number 1. And next thing here, so in the second mesh, so now minus 6 into I2 minus I1 plus 6 into I2 plus 2 into I2 minus I3 equals to 0. This is equation number 2 if you simplify this one. So now minus 3I1 plus 7I2 minus 3I3 is equal to 0. Now here third mesh equation, 2 into I2 minus I3 minus I2 plus 4 into I3 plus 4 into I3 minus I1. So now if you simplify this one, that equation equals to minus 2I1 minus I2 plus 5I3 equals to 0. So that I1 current equals to 8 milliamperes. I hope all these problems are clear to you. If you still have any doubts in this lecture, you can comment in the comment section below. I will answer to your queries. Thank you. Thank you very much to you all.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.